Hello friends, welcome to SahuStudies. In this video, I am going to discuss about how GroupByKey function works in Scala. So what is GroupBy function? So GroupBy function is a transformation function and it is a wider transformation function. So what does it mean? That whenever we want to do any kind of a transformation on top of the RDD, we can use GroupBy. And it is a wider transformation function means there would be a lot of shuffle operation will going to happen within different executor whenever we are using GroupByKey function. It is used to perform aggregate such as count, sum, min and max. It shuffles the data across the executor when the data is not partitioned on the key. As I mentioned that it is a wider operation or wider transformation. So the shuffling of the data across different executor will going to take place whenever we are using GroupByKey function. It takes key value pair data as an input, group the value based on the key. What does it mean? It means that it will going to take value or input data in the form of a key and value, and it will group based on the key, and it will going to aggregate or perform aggregate function based on the each key. It performs very costly operation and it consumes a lot of memory if the data is very big. So GroupByKey is always a very costly operation because it requires a lot of shuffles, and due to those shuffles it requires a lot of memory. If the data is small, then it's okay, but if the data is very big, it will create a huge problem. Other functions like reduce by key, they are also do a lot of shuffles, but reduce by key shuffles the data at the last stage of the transformation, but GroupByKey starts shuffling the data from the first stage of the transformation. That's why it consumes a lot of memory and it becomes a very expensive operation. So as I mentioned that reduce by key and aggregate by key do the transformation at the very last stage of the transformation. Hence, to perform better, use reduce by key and aggregate by key instead of GroupByKey. So you can get the same result, okay, if you are using the reduce by key or the aggregate by key or the GroupByKey. So it is advisable to not to use the GroupByKey function. Always use reduce by key or aggregate by key. Let's understand the GroupByKey with the help of this pictorial representation. Okay, so the data is going to be in the form of key and value. Then when we are going to apply the GroupBy here, if we are going to apply the GroupByKey function, then what it will going to do? It will group the data based on the key. So this is the key, IT, operation management and the marketing. You can see there are the key. There are the four unique key present in this data. So GroupByKey will aggregate the data or group the data based on the key. And here it is the grouping. So it has all the value 1. That's why for IT, this is the value which is present in this input data. And with the help of a GroupByKey, it is grouping the data based on the key. Once the data is grouped, we can perform any kind of aggregate function. So suppose here we are performing the sum aggregate function. So it will going to do a sum aggregation based on the each key. This is for the IT, this is for the operation, this is for the management, and this is for the marketing. You can see 5 value 5 1 1 1 1 5. And sum aggregate is 8, for management sum aggregate is 4, and for marketing sum aggregate is 4. So the GroupByKey function, if you see on the overview, it works like this. Now let's understand the GroupByKey with the help of this pictorial representation as well, right? So suppose this is the one partition which is present in one executor, and the value for the key A is equal to 1. Here the value of key B is equal to 1. Same, this is the one partition which is present in the different executor. It has two value of the key A and the two value of the key B, and the each key of A and B have the value 1. Same, this is the different executor or different partition which is present in the different executor. We can see that A key has 3 value, B has 3 value, and each key has a value 1 1 1 here. Now here the shuffle operation is going to perform, and it's create two partition, and these two partitions sits on different executor. This A is coming from this partition, this A1, these two records are coming from this partition, and these 3 records are coming from this partition. Same is for B. This B is coming from this partition. This 2 B key values are coming from this partition, and these 3 records are coming from this partition. Once the data has been shuffled shuffles and it creates a partition which is present in the different executor, then it do the aggregate. So suppose here we are just performing the aggregate of sum, so it will going to take the value of key and perform the sum operation. So the A key has value 1 in each and every record. You can see here, that's why it is 6. Same goes for B. So we can see here at the first stage only, when we are just grouping the data at the first stage, it suffers the data. That's why it makes very costly operation, because if the data is very huge, so all the data will going to shuffle across different executor. Since till it makes a single partition based on the key and its present and those key and its value present into the different executor. So it's always advisable not to use group by key. If you want to do a aggregation based on the group or based on the group of keys, then it is required to use reduce by key and or aggregate by key. Now here I am going to perform a exercise in which I am going to perform certain kind of aggregation like sum, count, mean, and max with the help of a group by key function. Here in these two lines, I am just importing. Here I am just importing a Spark session. Here I am just importing all the required function. Here I am creating a list variable, and the list variable having the object in the form of key and value. Key and value. So this list object I am going to use to create this RDD with the help of a Spark context.parallelize function by passing this list variable which has the data. So this RDD will going to create based on the data which is present in this list. Once this RDD gets created, I am going to call this group by function on top of this RDD. So this RDD will going to create. If we just do a collect, what the collect will do, it will going to convert the RDD into the list, RDD into the array, and I am using the for each loop to print all the data which is present in the array, which is getting created with the help of a collect function. So we can see, we can able to figure it out the data like this. So here we have just that it will be the data in this format. I will show you whenever I am going to do in the exercise. No, I will show you how the data will looks like, but the data will looks like this. Once this RDD gets created with the help of this group by function, so on top of that, with the help of a map function, I am doing different kind of aggregate function. Here I am just using sum aggregate. Here I am just using minimum aggregate. Here I am just using list aggregate, and here I am just using count aggregate. So how I am just doing, on the top of the RDD which we have created with the help of a group by, I am calling this map function, and in this map function I am passing this value, and in this value I am just to value it would be, because this is the key value pair. So whenever we are talking about the group by key function, the group by key function will always work on the uh, 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 key value pair. So we can see that the first object, see, if a value dot underscore one, it will going to give the key. The key is in our case it is IT or operation or marketing, and underscore AP underscore value 2, it will going to give you the array value. Array value means this value I am talking about, this value. And if you just do the sum, so it will going to sum all the value that present in that particular array. If you just do the minimum, it will going to calculate the minimum value from the array. It will say, if you will do the max, then it will going to give the max value of the array. And if you do the size, it will give the total count of the value which is present in that particular array with each key. So let's do this exercise in Databricks. Let me create a notebook. Name it as group by key function. So we need some data so that we can perform the aggregate function with the help of a group by key. I have created a data in the form of a list. Let me copy it and paste in this command cell. Let me define this list variable which has the required data. Okay, this list variable has been created successfully. Now let's import all the required libraries. org.apache.spark.sql, and in SQL let's import a Spark session. A Spark session is available in this notebook. Now let's import all the functions. Import org.apache.spark.sql.function, and here I'm just importing all the functions. Okay, all the functions are available in this notebook. Let me create a RDD. How the RDD will going to create? With the help of a spark context dot parallelize method, and here we need to pass the object which has the data. So this list variable has the data, so I'm just passing here. So this RDD gets created. Now let's call group by key function on top of this RDD. So let me create a different variable AP group by key RDD. So okay. So on top of AP RDD, I am calling group by key. If you're saying error, okay, sorry. This is the group by key. Group by key. Let's print this RDD. How we are going to print the RDD? Print, sorry, print with the use the collect and print it. On top of that, let's call for each and then println. We can see this is the IT key and this is the respective values. This is the key, here it is the respective values. marketing. Here it is the respective value. In the same format it is coming. If you go to the PPT now, which I was showing, it is coming in the same format like this. IT, this is the value, operation, this is the value, management, this is the value. In the same way, it is displaying here. Now, this RDD has been created, which has been grouped with group based on the key, and this grouping has been done by the help of a group by key function. Now, let's do certain kind of aggregation on top of this RDD, which we have created with the help of a group by function. So, how we are going to do AP, sorry, where AP group by key, and this is the sum we are talking about, and this is the type of RDD. So what I'm just doing on top of this group RDD, this RDD which we have created with the help of a group by key function, I am calling this map function, and on top of the map, I am passing a p value as a parameter, and what we are doing, I am just saying that return this ap dot underscore 1, and this ap ap dot underscore 2, and this is the what we need to do. Then this is the array. So what this is some different object. Let's me create it to list, and on top of that I am just calling this sum function. Let's run it. So it is saying that the what mistake I am making here. What is the code I have written? So what I'm just saying AP. Okay. So this is in a bracket. Let me write it. Okay. So this already has been created. So what I'm just doing here on top of this RDD which we have created with the help of a group by key function, and on top of that I'm just calling the map, and in the map I'm just saying that get the first value of this paired RDD. So this RDD, this underscore 1 has the key, and underscore 2 will have the array. On top of that I'm just converting the array into the list, and I am just calling the sum function. Means whatever the function, whatever the value which is present in the list, just sum it, and the summation will be done for each key. Okay, so let me print. You can just able to figure it out what I'm just talking about. Collect, on top of the collect, call for each, and do the print. We can see for each key it is summing up. This is the summing up, sum aggregate function which is happening here, right? With the help of a sum, all the value which is present for this key we are adding. So here we have just demonstrated how we can use sum aggregate function on top of the RDD which we have created with the help of a group by key function. Let's do another aggregate. So to save time I am just copying the code. I will just change the aggregate function. It will save some time, otherwise it will going to take more time. So let me call this me here me. So what it will going to do, this is the key. For each key it will going to convert the array, this array into a list, and whatever the minimum value from this list, it will going to fetch and put into this RDD for each key. Let me print collect. Okay, let me run it. First let me run it. I didn't run it, that's why it's not coming up. So let me run it, and this is the collect. On top of collect, let me call for each and do the print again. Run it. We can see for each key, one is the minimum value. We can also validate from here. This is the list which act as an input. So for each, this IT minimum value is 1, management minimum value is 2, operation minimum value is 1. Right. Now let's do a max aggregation. Right. Let's figure it out what is the max value, which is per key. Right. So this is the mean. Let me convert it to change into the max, and instead of max, let's call the max. Means whatever the value present in this array for each key, let's figure it out what is the max value and convert and put into this RD. Let me print it. Collect dot for each, and then print again. We can see for the IT 100 is the maximum value, for management 10 is the maximum value, for the marketing 300 is the maximum value, for operation 200 is the maximum value. We can also validate from this input list. For IT, this is the maximum value. For operation this is the maximum value. Operation, this is the maximum value. For management, this is the maximum value, and for the marketing, this is the maximum value. Now let's do another aggregate function, that is count. Right? What is the count number of rows present in each group? Let me paste this one here. This is the max. Let me rename it as a count, and instead of max, let me do the size, because this is the list. This is the list object. Means this is the array. On top of that array, I am just calling toList function to convert this array into the list, and on top of that, I am just calling the size. What is the value which is present in this list for each key? The value will going to stored in this RD. Let me run it. Let me click this. Collect dot for each, and then print. See, these are the counts which is present. See, for the IT there are 5 records, for management there are 4 records, marketing there are 4 records, for the operation there are 8 records. So in this video we have seen how we can use group by key on a data set which has key and value pair. We have also seen how we can perform a certain kind of aggregation on the group data. The group data based on which we have created based on the group by key function, and the aggregate function which we have demonstrated in this video is sum, count, min, and max. Let's go to the PPT. Thank you. If you like content of my video, then please subscribe my channel, like it, comment on it, and press the bell icon to get notification whenever I add videos.